Today, we're going to look at something you see every single day, your closet. But we're not talking about organizing it. We're talking about the history hidden inside it. You know that feeling, right? You're standing there, maybe running a little late, trying to pick something to wear. You think you're just making a simple choice based on what you like, but is it really that simple?
Well, what if I told you that every single item in your wardrobe, from your jeans to your favorite t-shirt, is basically a tiny artifact? That it's been shaped by huge global forces you've probably never even thought about. The story of what you're wearing is so much bigger than you think. Let's dig in. So let's start with a big one: politics. Yeah, really. From massive world wars to powerful independence movements, what happens in the halls of power has a direct line to your closet. Just look at the difference here. During the World Wars, fashion got serious and it got practical. It had to. Women were working in factories, so loose, flowing clothes were suddenly dangerous. Fabric was being rationed for the war effort, so hemlines shot up to save material. Clothes were all about utility. Now compare that to peacetime. Suddenly there's an explosion of expression, luxury, and artistry. The connection is absolutely undeniable. But political influence isn't always about the top-down pressure of a world war. Sometimes the most revolutionary act can be the simple choice of what fabric to wear. Take Mahatma Gandhi's call for the people of India to wear khadi, which is a homespun cloth. Now, this was not a fashion trend. This was a brilliant political strategy. By choosing to make and wear their own cloth, they were making a powerful statement. It was a symbol of economic freedom from the British, a rejection of imported goods, and an incredible unifying force for the entire nation. Okay, so from politics, let's follow the money. There's this old idea in fashion that as the stock market rises, so do hemlines. And you know what? There's actually a lot of truth to it. The logic here is pretty straightforward, right? When the economy is booming, people just have more money to spend. But when things go bust, that spending power, well, it pretty much disappears. And that swing has a huge direct impact on the clothes we buy and wear. And this is what's so fascinating. When the economy is strong, fashion gets more daring. It's more colorful, more experimental, more flamboyant. But during a bust, things get conservative, practical, and a lot more toned down. It's almost like we dress for the economic future we see coming. I mean, just think about the Great Depression. With unemployment hitting an absolutely staggering 33% in some countries, fashion had no choice but to become simple and practical. That crisis was literally woven into the fabric of what people wore every day. All right, so we've covered politics and money. Next up, culture. Fashion designers are like magpies, constantly pulling inspiration from all over the world, often sparked by these huge cultural moments. Case in point, 1965, the movie Dr. Zhivago hits theaters. It's this epic story set in Russia, and suddenly, those military-style overcoats from the film are everywhere. A story on the big screen became a real lifestyle on the street. Or how about this? 1976, the treasures of King Tutankhamun go on tour in the US. And bam, suddenly everyone's obsessed with Egyptian-inspired jewelry, eyeliner, you name it. A museum exhibit literally created a fashion trend. And then you have the 1960s, when Western fashion became fascinated with India. The sleek Nehru jacket and the vibrant tie-dye technique known as bandhani were adopted by everyone from hippies to high-fashion designers, becoming symbols of a new kind of global thinking. Okay, for our last big influence, let's talk about the rebels and the record breakers. I'm talking about the powerful trends that start in these small niche subcultures like music scenes and sports before they just explode into the mainstream. You have to remember, punk wasn't just music. It was a full-on visual rebellion. The fashion, the ripped shorts, the safety pins, all that DIY gear. It was a deliberate, aggressive statement against the establishment. It was meant to be shocking. And boy, was it influential. So how does a look that raw get from an underground club to a store in the mall? Well, there's a surprisingly clear pipeline. It starts on the stage, with a band like the Sex Pistols. Then, a visionary designer like Vivienne Westwood takes that energy and puts it on a runway. And before you know it, pieces of that once shocking style are everywhere. And you can see the exact same thing happen in sports. The tracksuit started as purely functional gear for athletes. Then, in the 60s, it became casual wear. The fitness craze of the 80s turned it into a full-on fashion statement. And today, the line between the gym and the catwalk is basically gone. Luxury sportswear is one of the most dominant forces in fashion. So, after looking at all of this, Politics, economics, culture, and subculture. Where does that leave us? What does it all mean?
Well, it means that the outfit you're wearing right now isn't just a random collection of items. It's an incredible tapestry, woven together from the threads of political history, economic cycles, global cultures, iconic movies, rebellious music scenes, and legendary athletes.
What this all boils down to is that your closet is like a living, breathing archive. Every single trend, every silhouette, every choice is a response to the world at a specific moment in time. Fashion isn't just about fabric, it's a language, and it's speaking history, loud and clear. And that leaves us with one final fascinating question to think about. If the clothes we wear today tell the story of the world as it was, what will the fashion of tomorrow say about the times we're living in right now?